let go of control and allow this energy to flow through you, to be an open channel for it all the time. Good morning. I know you can't really see me, but it is day 26, and I thought it would be a really cool thing to just take short videos today of kind of my daily routine. So I'm talking quiet because Scott's still sleeping. I'm in my closet. There's my altar. It's my little space that I love. It's just feels so cozy and comfy and sacred in here, and so I love to meditate in here in the mornings. It is about 7:40, which is late for me. I typically get up about 6:15, 6:30 at the latest, but I decided this week's a little bit different. I was going to just let my body sleep as it does, see whenever it wants to go to sleep and whenever it wants to wake up. So yeah, I change up my routine quite often. For a while I was getting up, having coffee, doing some work for a while, and then meditating. And this week I decided to get up and do breath work and meditation first thing, which I did for many, many, many years. But yeah, I just like to change it up because I think that's important for me, my body, my mind, my spirit, all of it. So I am getting ready to go into, I'm going to do 15-minute breath work, just a regular daily solar plexus, breath retention, breath work, and then I'm going to do a meditation. And I'm not sure yet. I'll see what when I do, and I will let you know.
And then, of course, that's going to show up in the game. Because that's what you tend to steer to. But we think this is real life. We're trying to stop the crash, right? We're trying to stop the thing, but it really, wow, it is even, even with the retreat. Okay, so what do you want? What did you ask for? Yeah, you want to be around your people. You want to have these experiences, these conversations. So that's what you're doing. Why do you think you need to, make money from it, so then that'll span to the next one? Like it's this idea where money gets in, kind of fucks it up, because you think that, well, I need the money in order to keep the game going. But then you realize, oh wait, I'm the game. I possess the game. So in Monopoly, you needed Monopoly money to play the game. Well, this game, you need money to play the game, right? But you are the game ultimately. It's kind of like we are going to this party on this island, but you have to go over this huge ocean, and the only way to get there is you have to wait till it freezes, right? And then, but sometimes you fall in the water. And that's the most uncomfortable because it's cold. You don't want to be, but you've got to get to this party. So you start running and then you fall in and then you go in and it's like, oh God, that's horrible. And then you get out and you climb up and you're like, and you get really good at running this game. Oh my God,
it's so crazy you're using that as an analogy.
Because that's exactly what I was thinking. It's just like, because Steve, Crypto Steve was saying about, I'm really going through it right now. Are you guys available to chat? And I'm like, oh, you just fell in.
I literally, in my meditation this morning, I had a vision of me like at a finish line, but not a finish line, but like dragging, like, oh fuck. And it was like, once I got there, it was like relief for, like, oh fuck. Oh God, thank you. Like, I'm here. It was like that kind of same thing of like, when you get out of the water, you're like, oh fuck, like, wow, that was a big one.
That is like, that
was a big
we
contraction.
Can look, like Tao says, that finish line. This this is what we're running to. And then we're all going to go there. We're all going to hang out. We're all going to have a blast. It's going to be awesome. Right? And then we're going to have to go run to our next one. But in between, you're going to have to, you know, you're going to fall in. You're going to, it's just a race. That's all it is. But you have to learn to enjoy the race. Of course, everything shows up the way it's supposed to show up. Like, you know, the toad showed up. The mushrooms showed up the way when the mushrooms were supposed to show up, right? You know, and of course the event showed up that allowed that to happen. And then toad shows up. And now the ketamine shows up. And the ketamine, so it's all really just, they're grades, they're lessons. Like, oh man, this is hard, you know?
Technology,
Yeah, they're challenges. They're just all challenges. And it is this.
And there's no way to grow without challenge. You can't. Stagnation is no growth.
But we look at the challenge as
bad.
We are the challenge when we're not the challenge. It's just something that's in front of us.
It's allowing us to expand. That's it.
And then we just keep thinking about it all the time instead of why we're doing the challenge. You know, you're always your focus has been because you've been in the ocean for so long. And then when you come out of the ocean, you're like, oh my God, that was, woof. Yeah. That was fucking brutal. And now we got this long stretch of, you know, ice here. Yeah. Wow. And I can see the fire. It's there. Yeah. You know, so it's just realizing that we help each other get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm done with my meditation and breath work. Actually, been done for a while. I've done some things.
Come on.
They're doing some things. So I actually ended up doing Create Your Day breath work, my Create Your Day breath work, followed by Tuning into New Potentials by Dr. Joe Dispenza for the meditation. It was absolutely amazing. Of course, at first, it took a while for me to get into the space, get into the blackness, open my focus. It's not even for me necessarily letting go of my thoughts anymore, as opposed to just opening my focus and paying attention to space. And once I did, then I could get into that. Are you having troubles, honey? Oh, never mind. So I've done a few things since then, even recorded a little conversation with Scott and I. But so normally, this is, again, this week is not normal for me. I had to do a video Zoom meeting. Normally, I would, as soon as I'm done with my breathwork and meditation, I would come out here to my altar and do my practice, usually right after. But again, today's been a little bit different. I always try to mix up my routine in a lot of ways, just because that's really good for me. I get really stuck in a routine really easily. So now I'm gonna do my practice now. Okay, I'm gonna do my practice now. So here's my space that I am telling you I absolutely freaking love. Like, I love this little space I have in our little office area right here. I mean, I walk around our apartment because I work from home, and I look over at this space and I just feel connected. Just even when I see it, I feel so connected to it. I feel like it's just such a representation of who I really am, my higher self, my soul. It just connects me. And this is why I always tell people that building an altar is such a powerful experience, because there's no right or wrong way to do an altar. It's what your own soul is calling for. It's whatever you resonate with. I mean, there are different ways that they tell you to build an altar with things that you should have on it. You can look it up. There's different ideas as to how to build an altar. But honestly, I think the less you know, the better, because the less you know, the more you're going to connect to your intuition on what you actually want on your altar. So everything I have here is things that have just called to me. I will tell you, it has been a huge lesson in the last 4 months of my second awakening. It's been a very humbling experience.
And I have known my whole life, since I could remember, that one of my really, really big lessons that my soul is to overcome in this incarnation is judgment, and to let go of judgment. And when you start to really become aware of how much you're judging all day, every day, wow. I mean, it's so unconscious, and you do it all day, every day, from the weather to, you know, the people in your life, to the way things show up in trap, to everything you do. Your mind, if you're connected to the ego mind, if you're operating from the ego mind, it's going to be a constant judgment all day long. And a lot of times it's subdued, like we don't think we're judging, but if we actually step back a little bit, you'll go, holy shit, I'm judging everything all day. The reason I'm telling you this is because previously I was very judgmental about people who use crystals. And the reason why I was because, you know, my own spiritual awakening started with a specific spiritual teacher who in some ways would poke fun at things like that. Poke fun at, you know, wanting to eat the right foods, or using crystals, or using tapping, or using whatever. Kind of poke fun at that, essentially stating that it's all a placebo, it's all a belief, which at my current state of consciousness, I do believe everything. It's the first Hermetic principle. We are the mind of God. The universe is mental. That's the first Hermetic principle. Meaning everything that exists comes from the mind of God. So of course everything is a placebo. And that means everything has consciousness to it. You know, now I've studied people like Don Hoffman, who talks about the science behind proving that there's 0% chance that we actually see reality as it is, that actually everything truly is an illusion, and it doesn't exist until you say it does, like the moon. So that means everything that we experience has consciousness to it, from a blanket. Like, you may not, as he describes it, you may not get a portal into seeing the mind of God in that blanket. There's not much to know about the consciousness of that blanket, but everything consists of consciousness. So for me, in, you know, 3-4 months ago, having a new awakening caused by attending a 3-day ketamine retreat, and also working with a very powerful, we call her the White Witch, but a very powerful energy worker, I went through the transformation process and just shed more of who I am. And part of that was discovering the uniqueness of my soul, of my higher self. And part of that uniqueness is working with stones or crystals. And it is fascinating to me in the last even couple weeks how much deeper my relationship has gotten with these stones, and how I can tap into the consciousness, the vibration of these stones and crystals. They literally carry a vibration, a frequency, a consciousness. And when I sit with them and I hold them and I meditate, or whatever I'm doing with them, holy moly, do I tap into that. It's like putting a power pack on yourself. So that's why when I sit here with my stones, they almost feel like children to me in a really strange way. They feel, and so do my plants, they feel like my children in some odd way. So that's part of it, is, you know, sometimes I'll sit here with a stone for a minute. I'll just sit here and hold it and tap into it. Sometimes I have an intention with it. But for the most part, the same thing that I'll do every day. Sometimes like I said, I'll add in different aspects, but what I'll do is I will first usually burn some Palo Santo. I'll burn some of that, and I'll use my feather to just, you know, get the smoke all around me, because I'm just clearing anything out from the day before. The smoke is just clearing any energy that needs to go. So we'll do that for a minute. I'll burn that and really work with the smoke to burn away anything from the day before that needs to go, clear out any of the energetic space, any residue from yesterday. And then I will grab an incense down here. I'll pick an incense. shows that, but that's not really what those are. And so I have different scents, different whatever, and I'll just kind of go with my intuition on what incense. And then when I'm done with Apollo, I'll light an incense. But every time I light the incense, I affirm my intention for the day. So I have an intention for every single day, whether that be to connect more, whether that be to have more fun, whether that be to be in my heart more, whatever it may be. When I light the incense, I'm lighting it with an intention for the day. And then once I do that, I will get out my white oracle cards, which I place these stones on them every night just to kind of clear the deck. So the cards work with the stones. I don't know if actually, so this, I'll pull up this is my white light oracle deck. And I will, you know, hold these to my heart, ask what message. Sometimes I have a specific question, but usually it's just, what message do you have for me today? I'll shuffle them, and then I'll pull a card, and then I'll read it. Usually I'm doing this while I drink a full glass of water every other day. I switch it with lemon water. So one just water, one lemon water every other day, or, you know, every day. One day it's lemon water, one day it's just regular water. I'll drink a full glass of that when I come out, and then when I'm done with that is when I'll have my coffee. So usually I put my water and my coffee right here in this circle just to soak up the consciousness and the energy and the frequency of those stones. And so I'll do that while I'm sitting here, and then I'll read my card for the day. Sometimes I have this really amazing Crystals for Beginners book that I'll read through. Oops. So sometimes I'll do that. I'll read through that. It's a great book. And then that's done. Then I'm done with that spiritual practice for the day. So there we go. This was really long to show you my second part of my spiritual practice.
Oh, buddy! How did that get out of here?
All right, now I'm getting out of this nonsense of this house to go to the co-working room. A day in the life, honey. From our apartment, out of the energy, into our co-working space, which is just right down the hall. I'm looking at myself on the camera. And where I get peace and quiet. And so I'll go in there and work for a couple hours. My new thing is to not be sitting on a computer for longer than 2 hours at a time before I take a break. And so that's usually what I'll do, is I will go in the co-working space for about 2 hours, and then I'll take a break. I'll go back to the apartment for a bit. I may come back to the co-working space in a little while, but nice short commute to work. There's the door. Here I am. And here I am in the co-working space. My nice little couch. They have an actual co-working space down there, but I like to sit here on my little chair. I like to sit here. Here you go. Well, the end of day 26 has concluded. I'm in bed, as you can see, 9:45. Usually I'm in bed by 9. Usually I'm laying in bed by 9. I don't go to sleep by then, but I'm usually laying in bed by 9. Usually sleep around 10:30, and then back up in the morning to do it all again. Although usually my days are filled with adventure, even if it's not on the outside, it certainly is on the inside. So that was, I guess, a sneak peek into a day of the life of this persona named M, this avatar. I will see you tomorrow on day 27. I just got out of a meditation and had to share my experience, which was this. I once heard Matthias Di Stefano describe the 9 dimensions, how the universe exists and creates, and made up of 9 dimensions. And on the 6th dimension is the architects, the creators of our reality. They consist of dark and light energies working to constantly mold and shift the 3rd dimensional realities. Now, most think that those energies, those beings that exist in the 6th dimension and are the architects and creators of what is happening right now, are separate from you. But in this meditation, I became them. I became it. I became me, the creator of my reality, beyond the personality of Emily, whomever this personality is. And I knew it. And the answer was, let go of the rope. Let go of the rope. Let me live through you. Let your existence be a constant flow of me through you. And if you live from this place, if you live every moment from this place, you get to love life. You get to not fight life, resist life. You get to enjoy life. You get to love being a part of the 3rd dimension, but experiencing it as a direct flow of energy from me, us. We love the 3rd dimension. It's why we created it, because we can't experience it here in the 6th dimension. We experience light, movement, flow, energy, potential, possibility, but you then get to experience the end result of that in a taste of food, in a hug, in a cry. You get to experience that. We get to experience that through you, but when you resist and fight and forget who you are, that's when you create all sorts of things that you don't need to. You just have to let go of the rope. Let go and live through me. Live as a constant flow. Keep the lever turned on as we direct and flow energy through you to actually mold and shape and bend reality into everything that we want to live out. Now I say we or I, but that's who you are. As I tell you what happened in my meditation, you may think I'm talking about another entity or being or something else that's outside of you, and it's not. It is you. It is who you are, really who you are. And I asked as a separateness, oh my God, because I knew in that moment, oh my God, I not only knew, I felt. I had absolutely no doubt. I 100% knew, and I said, everybody needs to know about this. Everybody needs to know about this. And they said they already do. They already do. But not everybody is willing to do it. And that's okay. Wow. All you have to do is let go of the rope. Let go of control and allow this energy to flow through you, to be an open channel for it all the time. And you will love life. You will love this 3rd dimensional reality. You will love every single thing you create. Wow. this to love life. Just let go of the freaking rope.